Is up, everybody? Welcome to Brandon's Face. It's the podcast about a playlist. I'm Jonathan Beardsley.
And I am Brandon May.
Happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrate. We got a lot of new music to talk about this week, but before we get into that, let's go over the Grammy nominations. We touched on these a little bit last week, but I want to dive in a little deeper now, if that's okay.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll just touch on the categories we're interested in. Starting with Record of the Year, I still struggle to know the difference between Record of the Year and Song of the Year. I know one of them is like for the songwriters and one of them is for the artist.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. We'll just go gut feeling on this one. The nominees for Record of the Year, Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For from the Barbie movie, Boy Genius, Not Strong Enough, Grammy Wonderkin, Jon Batiste, Worship. I don't know why that guy gets so many nominations. Miley Cyrus, Flowers, Olivia Rodrigo, Vampire, SZA, Kill Bill, Taylor Swift, Anti-Hero, Victoria Monet, On My Mama. Shout out Victoria Monet for a Record of the Year now.
Good for her, right?
Out of those, what's your pick?
SZA, Kill Bill.
Same. Yep. She leads with 9 nominations. I'm kind of rooting for her to get all 9.
She deserves it, man. That album is out of control.
Yeah, I think that is my pick as well. I could see Olivia getting it for Vampire, and I could also see Boy Genius having a very successful night. Although I don't think Not Strong Enough should be Record of the Year.
Yep.
Then again, Taylor Swift is in the category, so there is that factor. Album of the Year, we got Boy Genius, The Record, Janelle Monáe, The Age of Pleasure, which neither you or I were very high on. Jon Batiste, World Music Radio, Don't Get It. Lana Del Rey, Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? Miley Cyrus, Endless Summer Vacation. Olivia Rodrigo, Guts. SZA, SOS. Taylor Swift, Midnights. I'm going SZA, SOS, Album of the Year. What about you?
I'm going, I actually think Boy Genius is going to win this one, bro.
I would not be mad at that one bit. The Lana nomination scares me, though. I'm not going to lie.
Also, I think it's pronounced Did You Know? There's an ocean under... what is it? Something under... there's like a pause, right? There's an ellipsis right there. I think you've got to pronounce that when you pronounce the album.
I refuse to. I will not I will not be doing that. All right, Song of the Year, What Was I Made For? Billie Eilish, Dance the Night, Dua Lipa. 2 songs from the Barbie soundtrack nominated for Song of the Year. I think that's a pretty strong case for it being like soundtrack of the decade so far. Jon Batiste, Butterfly, Never Heard It. Lana Del Rey, A&W. Miley Cyrus, Flowers. Olivia Rodrigo, Vampire. SZA, Kill Bill. Taylor Swift, Anti-Hero. Again, going SZA.
Yeah, I'm going SZA.
Olivia Taylor could do it, man.
I think, look, man, the Grammys are always this, right? They're always who deserves it, who's going to win it, right? I think SZA deserves it. I think Taylor Swift is going to win this one.
Quite possibly, man. That Billie Eilish song is so sleepy from the Barbie movie that I could see them just fawning over it for some reason.
Also, I love how you're not hating on Jon Batiste. You just have this aggressive apathy, which I needed to mention it.
He is a great musician, but like worthy of the amount of nominations he gets. Her is a great R&B artist. She gets so many fucking nominations though that it's like, all right, like there's other artists that kind of deserve some of these years. Not every release is going to be great. You can just kind of tell who their favorites are after a while.
Right.
Best New Artist, Coco Jones, Gracie Abrams, Fred again, Ice Spice, Jelly Roll, Noah Kahan, Victoria Monet, The War and the Treaty. Definition of Best New Artist is very, very hard to figure out. But based on the nominees, who are you going with?
I think Ice Spice is going to win it.
I think Ice Spice is going to win it too. I'm going for Fred again, I think, in this one, though. I think that would be really unique, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Producer of the Year, non-classical, Metro Boomin, Jack Antonoff, Hit Boy, D-Mile, and Daniel Negro, who he has done, or Nigro, he's done like Olivia Rodrigo's albums. He's done a lot of stuff. I'm going anybody but Antonoff. What about you?
I think after the run that Hit Boy's had with Nas, I would love for him to win it. But I think you and I both know that Antonoff is going to win it because he's got. Didn't he do Lana's record too?
Yeah, he's done. I think he did Taylor Midnights. I think he did Olivia. I'm pretty sure he did some Alanas. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins.
I think Antonoff is going to win that one, bro. Go Bleachers.
Oh, yeah, I'm not echoing that. Best pop solo performance. What was I made for, Billy? Paint the Town Red, Doja Cat. Hey, we finally got the answer to the question. What is that song, rap or pop? He's making more mediocre pop, it seems. Yeah. Miley Cyrus, Flowers, Olivia Rodrigo, Vampire, Taylor Swift, Antihero. I'm going Vampire on this one. What about you?
I'm going Flowers on this one.
Okay. Not my favorite, but it is undeniably catchy. Sure.
I really liked that song, and I really like that album too.
I feel like it elevates the album, but it's a good song. I will give you that.
Cool.
Best pop duo group performance got Labyrinth and Billie Eilish, Never Felt So Alone, Lana and Jon Batiste, Candy Necklace, Miley and Brandy Carlisle, 1,000 Miles, SZA and Phoebe Bridgers, Ghost in the Machine, Taylor Swift featuring Ice Spice, Karma. Do not understand that nomination at all. It is not a good collab. I'm going either the Labyrinth and Billie song or I'm going to go Labyrinth and Billie over SZA and Phoebe. What about you?
Same. Labyrinth and Billie all day.
Yeah, it's a great song. That performance they did of it at Coachella was incredible too.
Really cool.
Best pop vocal album, Ed Sheeran, Kelly Clarkson, Miley Cyrus, Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift. I'm going Kelly Clarkson. Her voice is leagues above everybody else in this category.
Straight up.
Best dance electronic recording, Aphex Twins' new EP, Black Box Life Recorder, 21F. Disclosure, higher than ever before. I don't think you or I are surprised by that one. Nope. James Blake, Loading, maybe an album we'll have to check out before the end of the year.
Maybe.
Rami and Fred Again, Strong. Skrillex, Fred Again, and Flodan, Rumble. I think Rumble is the easy pick for me. What about you?
Yeah, Rumble's gonna win that one, bro.
Yeah, it fucking better. Best pop dance recording, Baby Rexha and David Guetta, 1 in a Million, please no. Calvin Harris featuring Ellie Goulding, Miracle. I hope so. David Guetta and Coi Leray, Anne-Marie. God, that sounds awful. I've never heard it. It's called Baby Don't Hurt Me. Kylie Minogue, Padam Padam, Troye Sivan, Rush. Fuck. Troy, Kylie, Calvin Harris, all in the same.
I think Calvin's going to win, but I think Kylie deserves it.
Oh, man. See, I think if Troy was like just pop solo, I would go Troy Rush, but like dance pop, I'm going Kylie.
Yep.
I think Calvin Harris, that's like a techno song. Interesting. That's a tough one, but yeah, I think I got to go Kylie. Best dance electronic music album, James Blake, The Chemical Brothers, Fred Again, Actual Life 3 to be specific, K5, and Skrillex. This is actually a really stacked category this year.
This is a stacked category, man.
Are you going with your favorite group based on them being your favorite group, or is one of these albums better in your opinion?
I don't want to give too much up from our episodes next week, but
you don't have to.
But I think Skrillex is going to win this one.
Yes, I do as well. I honestly, I think that the Chemical Brothers are going to win it, but I think Skrillex deserves it.
Oh,
we will see though.
Interesting.
We will see. Best rock performance, Arctic Monkeys, Sculptures of Anything Goes. The song off that album I don't really remember. I'm going to have to revisit that one. Black Pumas, More Than a Love Song. Good for them. Boy Genius, Not Strong Enough. Foo Fighters, Rescued. Metallica, Lux Eterna. I'm going Boy Genius on this one.
Same.
You? Best metal performance, Brandon. You want to hear what the Grammys considers metal this year?
Yeah, if the Acacia Strain isn't on this, I don't know what to tell them.
Disturbed, Badman, Ghost, Phantom of the Opera, Metallica, 72 Seasons, Slipknot, Hive Mind, and Spirit Box, Jaded.
Give it to Spirit Box.
Give it to Spirit Box. I'm with you. Best rock song, Boy Genius, Not Strong Enough, Foo Fighters, Rescued. Olivia Rodrigo, Ballad of a Homeschool Girl. Guys, what are we doing? Queens of the Stone Age, Emotion, Sickness, and the Rolling Stones, Angry. Boy Genius yet again.
Yep, same.
Okay. Man, Foo Fighters getting a lot of love. Best rock album, Foo Fighters, but here we are. Greta Van Fleet's Starcatcher. All of your credibility is gone, Grammys. All of it. Metallica, 72 seasons. Paramore, This Is Why. Queens of the Stone Age, In Times New Roman. I'm going Paramore. You?
Yeah, I think I have to go Paramore, but it's funny. They put Metallica in both the rock and the metal categories, which I think is very odd.
Oh, does that not make sense to you, Brandon?
No,
Does
no,
that not make
I'm
sense to
being
you on this list?
sarcastic. I'm being
Yeah, no,
sarcastic.
it is odd. You were right. To say the least, it is very odd. What did you give that Foo Fighters album? I don't remember.
I think I gave it a seven,
Seven? Okay.
seven or higher. I really like the Foo Fighters, man. I always have, and people who haven't seen them live don't get it. They're definitely a live band, man.
You said that I think this was your favorite since the Something
Concrete
Gold
and Gold,
album,
yeah.
Concrete and Gold album. Yeah.
It's
It
a great
seems like
album.
it's getting a good amount of critical acclaim, so good for them. Best alternative music performance, always or always, I guess. Belinda Says, Arctic Monkeys, Body Paint, Boy Genius, Cool About It, Lana Del Rey, A&W, Paramore, This Is Why. I'm very torn on this one, man. I think,
I'm going Arctic Monkeys, man.
man, I could see any of these ones winning. Like realistically, that
Same.
isn't Belinda Says is not even my favorite song from the Always album.
Right.
Cool About It, not even my like top three favorite song from the Boy Genius album, but it is a good song. I'm gonna go Paramore, This Is Why. Why not?
So that is a very good song.
Best alternative music album, Arctic Monkeys, The Car. Man, their window of nomination is so confusing.
Yeah, because
Boy
that was last
Genius,
year.
yeah, very much so. Boy Genius, The Record, Gorillaz, Cracker Island, Lana Del Rey, PJ Harvey. I think Boy Genius has this locked up.
Absolutely.
Best R&B performance, Chris Brown, Summer Too Hot, Coco Jones, ICU, Robert Glasper featuring Sir and Alex Isley, Back to Love, SZA, Kill Bill, Victoria Monet, How Does It Make You Feel? I think SZA is going to take this one without much problem.
Yeah, that's no contest, bro.
Best traditional R&B performance, Babyface featuring Coco Jones. I love that Babyface got a nomination from that
Good
again.
for him.
Kenyon Dixon, Lucky. I've not heard this song. I'll have to check it out. PJ Morton featuring Suzanne Carroll, Good Morning. Sizzle, Love Language. Victoria Monet featuring Earth, Wind, and Fire. And her sister Hazel Monet called Hollywood. I remember that song being like a late album cut with like, oh, it's got Earth, Wind, and Fire on it. I don't
Right.
remember it being like, that's going to be a Grammy nominated song.
I know.
I think Sizzle, Love Language, or Babyface and Coco Jones, but probably SZA.
I like Babyface.
Yeah, I can't fault you there, man. That album is great.
It what really
Best
was.
R&B song, Coco Jones, ICU, Hallie, Angel. Interesting. Robert Glasper, Back to Love, SZA, Snooze, Victoria Monet, On My Mama. I actually think Victoria Monet is going to snatch this one with On My Mama.
Yeah, I think so too.
That song is huge right now, and like literally every R&B artist is backing that song. So it
Good for
feels like it has
Victoria,
all
man.
the momentum right now. Yeah, she's got a big hit on her hands. I still think Smoke is a better song. I wish people loved that song as much, but you
Right.
know, I'm glad she has a hit. Good for her. Best progressive R&B album: Diddy, Terrace Martin and James Fauntleroy, Janelle Monáe, SZA, Black. It's SZA. It's
Yep.
SZA. Best R&B album: Babyface, Coco Jones, Emily King, Summer Walker, Victoria Monet. I'm going Babyface on this one.
Same.
Best rap performance: Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar, The Hillbillies, Black Thought, Love Letter, Coi Leray Players, Drake and 21 Savage, Rich Flex, Killer Mike, Andre 3000, Future, and Aaron Allen Kane, Scientists and Engineers. I'm going Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar,
Oh
The
yeah, easy,
Hillbillies.
easy.
That song is so fucking fun. It,
It
it took a few listens to grow on me, but man, I smile every time it comes on now.
it really is just a good time.
It's so fucking fun. Best melodic rap performance: Burna Boy and 21 Savage, Doja Cat, Attention, Drake and 21 Savage, Spin About You, Lil Durk featuring J. Cole, All My Life, and SZA, Low. I don't know how Sizzle Low qualifies for best melodic rap, but if it does, I'm taking it. What about you?
You know what I think is gonna win? It's gonna make you mad. It's gonna be Lil Durk, bro. That
Know,
song is huge.
if it makes me mad and the result is it makes you happy, then I think it's worth it, Brandon.
Thanks,
Best
brother.
rap song, Doja Cat Attention, Rich Flex, Drake and 21, Killer Mike, Andre 3000, Scientists and Engineers, Lil Uzi Vert, Just Wanna Rock, and Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice featuring Aqua, Barbie World. What are you going with?
Give it to Killer Mike on this one.
Yes, I think Killer Mike featuring Andre 3000 should win it. There is a hilarious fucking video on like TikTok or Twitter, one of those fucking platforms, of a guy that like went to Lyndon B. Johnson's grave and he's like teaching the forefathers the new music and he's singing the I'm bad like the Barbie song. And it's that is what our generation has devolved into, and it's great.
Oh
Um,
man.
all right, best rap album: Drake and 21, Her Loss, Killer Mike, Michael, Metro Boomin, Heroes and Villains, Nas, King's Disease 3, Travis Scott, Utopia. I think I'm gonna go Killer Mike with Michael. What about you?
Same.
Don't need to do spoken word poetry unless you have any strong thoughts on that.
No, I
Uh,
do not.
Jean Baptiste should win the jazz categories he's nominated for. Anything in the Latin albums? Don't see anything. I think we can wrap up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some interesting nominees this year. I think they got it more right this year than they got it last year. I will say that just based on the nominees. We'll see who gets the actual victories though.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, it'll be interesting to see the winners.
All right, let's dive into this week's playlist, starting with a new one from Nightmare, Rez, and Death by Rami called All Night. It's an absolute fucking banger. I love it. What about you?
Oh yeah, absolute banger. Those are my notes. Absolute banger, bro.
That's all you can say about it. Nightmare's always been consistent, man.
He really has.
Got a new one from Zoo and Wax Motif called Better Recognized. Do you think this collab works?
Yeah, actually, I really do. I think this is a good track. I think that Zoo is still trying to like emulate The Weeknd a little bit here, and he's been kind of doing that over his last couple releases. But I did like this track.
I could do a lot less Zoo vocals on most Zoo songs nowadays. I still think he's a great producer, but I am, for the most part, completely over his vocals.
You know, it's funny. Somebody was bumping Zoo today at work, and they kept skipping over the new ones.
Yep, not surprised, man. The Night Day Genesis series, that's all you really need right there.
Yep,
I liked this one, though. I think their styles, production-wise, meshed pretty well together.
I agree. I agree.
Got a new one from West End called Dirty Blonde. I thought this one was really good, which is usually the case with West End. Did you like it?
Classic West End at this point, bro. It's got great bounce, great groove, good stuff.
Yep. That's what we've come to expect. Got a new one from Rodriguez Jr. that is just absolutely beautiful. You digging it too?
Yes, I am. So this was released on that Futuro compilation from Bedrock Records that I sent you. I wanted to highlight a couple of the tracks. So this one and the next one are both from this compilation. I don't believe that they show up side by side. But man, oh man, Digweed. Do you think that he goes through and he's like, you know what? Don't release this one. Let's wait until I can mix it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think Armin does it. I think Above and Beyond do it. I think they love to be the ones to drop a new one in a mix for sure.
Yeah, and obviously this one has a fantastic bass line and a just insane synth work on this one. I really like this track.
Yeah, as always, he killed it. The other song you were referring to is Deridum by David Morales. I thought that one was really good as well. I'll have to check out the mix in full. I have not heard it like that.
It's a good one. So I sent you the Bandcamp link. I'll leave it in the show notes, but it's not mixed on Bandcamp. They want you to buy the CD. I have done that. So I'll send you a copy, and anybody who asks for it if you guys want the full continuous mix.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Got a new one from Alex Perez called CRL. This is just some great drum and bass, which I'm always a fan of. What about you? You digging it?
Alex Perez just keeps dropping drum and bass bangers, man. This is great. Absolutely
really
great.
good stuff. Got a new one from BB and Becky G called Amigos. It is the perfect fusion of Latin pop and K-pop. Both of them just sound great together, man. I'm a big fan of this one. What about you?
Yeah, at first I was like, this doesn't sound like Spanish, and then I was like, wait, it's not Spanish. And then
Yeah,
it
it's
happened, and then Spanish came in, and I was like, oh my god, I love that they did this, man. This is really good.
yeah. Yeah, I was kind of worried about how their styles would mesh together, and I should not have been because they killed it. We need to talk about BB more soon. My wife and I have been listening to a lot of her, and she has some fucking gems that I think you'll really like.
Awesome.
All right, we got a new one. Not really a new one. This is the Travis Scott remix of Water by Tyla. I'm mad that I added this because I realized I've never added the original version of this song, and that's kind of a crime because it's probably like a top three R&B song this year, and it's become like a mainstream hit, which is not usually the case for R&B. Tyla is blowing the fuck up right now, but I can tell you Travis does not add anything to the song. He doesn't really ruin it though either. So not really knowing context. Were you able to enjoy this without knowing the original?
Yeah, actually, I think
Okay,
this is a
good.
good track. I like this feature more than anything he did on Utopia. So
Well, I think giving him a backdrop like this is just always better for him. There's songs like Coffee Bean at the end of Astro World that are much more down tempo and melodic rap. And I think yes, he's gonna get his multi-platinum hits from his fans with the ragey shit, but I think he does really well in just even a straight up R&B space like this one.
yeah,
Uh
he actually did really good on this one.
I will throw the original version of this song on our top R&B songs of the year playlist when that comes around so you can check it out.
Cool.
Got a new one from Ari Lennox called Get Close. Very sultry, as you would expect. Yeah, man, it's a new Ari Lennox track. She did a great job. What'd you think of it?
Man, Ari has such a voice. She has just been killing it these last couple of years. I love the instrumentals on this one as well. This is a good one.
Yeah, really good one. No mention of if it's just a one-off, but it kind of feels like it.
Nice.
Got a new one from Emotional Oranges and Nonso Amadi called Nowhere. It's a good song, but man, since they have gone independent, their output has just increased. And I think that is a case for more artists around their level not going the label route. You know, you can do this on your own. Modern technology is making it much easier than it was. And I think they're reaching just as many people without the label system as they were with it.
You know, the labels are in this realm, right? Are not doing much to help, and I think that there are some labels for like punk bands, for instance. Punk bands kind of need that distribution for their cassettes and their CDs, and the same goes for like a lot of the underground rock stuff. Like a lot of the labels, all they're doing is helping distribute and helping sell the music. And I think that Emotional Oranges might not necessarily rely on physical album sales in order to get what they need out of their music. And I think that for this is a great case study in why you should go independent once you hit a certain level. And plan for that when you're signing your first record deal, so you can release a couple albums and then be out of your contract and go release something, go release a single. This is good, man. This is a pretty good track. I'm still kind of weird about them since their last album, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. I feel like they've been pretty consistent, and this is in line with what I've come to expect. They they used to really, really wow me, and I feel like they do the same thing so well, but it gets a little repetitious after a while. So it's easy to become a little numb to it. And I do feel like they need to maybe, I don't know, I think they self-produce, but maybe like expand the repertoire of people that they're working with to push themselves outside their comfort zone a little bit now.
I think
Because
that's
I think
fair.
for what, 4 or 5 EPs, they've kind of kept the same sound, which is really good, but it's like I think you can improve upon it and keep that core sound intact.
Right.
All right, we got two new ones from No Guidance, White Tea and Long Talk. I thought both of these were good. Another case of just high output kind of winning over in terms of like not every song needing to be an absolute hit. Are you enjoying their like high output to get to know them this year?
Absolutely, I am. These guys are just straight killing it lately, man. I've liked
Yeah,
every bit of their output.
and they are doing pretty damn well, man. Is It a Crime is up to 9 million plays, and that
God
song
damn.
is really, really good. And I honestly was not expecting it to go that high. Like this style of R&B for people that grew up in the 90s with Boys to Men maybe can get into it a lot easier, but I'm surprised that like the TikTok generation is finding it and liking it enough to keep playing it. I think that's awesome though.
Same.
Got a new one from J Rock and Bongos by the Way. Hell of a rap name. This is Still That Way. It sounds like a J Rock track, man. He's been putting out a lot of tracks this year, which I am thankful for, but I want an album at this point. What about you?
This horn beat is tight. This is not my favorite of J Rock's verses, though.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like his first one, East Side, was really good. Too Fast with Anderson Paak and Lotto was an absolute scorcher, and then he's kind of been going down since then. Maybe take a step back, figure out what this chapter of his career is, and deliver it with a more fleshed out vision.
Yep, I agree.
All right, we got kind of a dual thing here. I guess it's her covering The Glass off of the Foo Fighters last album, but
Yeah.
we threw the original version of the song is on there as well. Man, it's finally a Foo Fighters song that I can listen to.
Fucking hater.
That's the highest compliment that I can pay to it. No, I thought this was a pretty good cover. This is a well-written song. It's good.
I actually really like hers acoustic rendition of this, man. I just really wanted to. I saw that they had done something together, and I was like, oh, this might get John's attention. And I'm glad that it did, man.
It did for sure. Been a minute since we've heard like we had one new song from her this year, and it was kind of like a longer acoustic ballad, incredible vocal performance, but not really like I don't know, she just seems quiet. I would imagine we're going to start getting new album music from her in this next year. I'm excited for that.
I think the record she put out in 2021, right?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
so good, man. It was really good.
It was good and it was a lot of songs, so it's going
Yeah.
to take a while to record that many again.
It was like an hour and 20 minutes or something, if I
It's a
remember
very
that
long
correctly. It's a
album. Yeah,
very
yeah.
long album, man.
Yeah, that one was nominated as well.
Yep.
All right, we got Boy Genius and Yay Vagabonds covering The Parting Glass by Sinead O'Connor. Just enchanting harmonies all around this fucking cover. It's beautiful. I really liked it. Probably
Yes.
surprisingly to you, but I did. What'd you think of it?
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Yeah, I think that this is a beautiful cover.
Yeah, really, really, really good. It's kind of crazy Sinead passed this year, man.
I know.
An icon for sure.
Straight up.
Okay, we got a new one from The Smile called Wall of Eyes. Both the song and the video directed by Paul Thomas Anderson for this are excellent, but I'm a big, big fan of all of the stuff they kind of do. So for you as somebody who is not immediately a fan of everything he does or they do, what do you think of this one?
Oh man, I'm still on the fence about this. This song is fine. It doesn't do much for me.
Sure.
But since they're releasing new music, they're almost a shoe-in for Coachella, no?
Well, the album comes out January 26th. We get the lineup for Coachella when? Like
Around
January.
there.
Okay. So I think we'll know, but they announced some dates, I think overseas for next summer. I'm not
Which
sure, man.
which I
It's
think
not out of the question.
I think it makes them likely, if anything. I think that's going to be interesting. I am excited to stream their set.
I think when did Radiohead play Coachella last? It had to have been like 17.
Yeah, no, I actually was it 17?
16, 7. Well, their last album was 16. They played it either that year or one of the years after. So, but
Interesting.
no later than 18 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I dug it. The cover art for this album kicks ass.
The
It's a
cover
beautiful
art
painting.
absolutely kicks ass.
Great, great shit. I think a song you and I can both agree kicks ass is the new one from Mannequin Pussy called Sometimes. Every single they've put out for this album has been so fucking different so far, but they've all been so great, man. This one is up there with the others, man. I'm really enjoying it. What about you?
Literally my notes. All of these singles have just been so good, man. This album is shaping up to be really diverse and
Hmm.
interesting. I'm very excited to see if the album cuts kind of match the energy of all of these singles that we've been getting, and I'm very excited to see how they structure everything together.
Yep.
I was a big fan of their last record. I've been a fan of theirs since I think 2018, 2019, and I'm excited. This track got me like, okay, fucking release the album already because I need to hear it, and I love it when rollouts do that because they don't always, you know.
I feel the exact same way, and I think that kind of sucks because it doesn't come out until March 1st. So we have
Oh
three
my
months. We're
god.
already three singles deep. I kind of don't want to hear more almost because I want the
I'm
album.
now I'm in the same boat. I honestly I thought it was January, but fuck all that, man.
I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those like five, six single releases if that's the window. But yeah, March 1st is the date I saw. So we got a while.
Yep.
All right, man. We got a new one from Real Friends, When You Were Here. Super, super catchy pop punk as we've come to expect from them, but it's really good. What'd you think of it?
Fantastic song, man. They've still got it.
They definitely still do. They put out an album earlier this year. I thought that was pretty good too.
They did, yes.
We got a new one from Sentinel called Avenge. This one is just really, really good stuff, man. Super thrashy, super punky. I enjoyed it. What about you?
A lot of punk, not so much pop.
Yes,
Just wanted some punk rock for our pre-Thanksgiving show, man. Released
of
on
course.
Convulse Records. It's like it's driving, it's grimy, it's really good stuff, man. I like this one.
It is really good. And to cap off the singles this week, another really good one. This one in the metal realm. It's Darkest Hour's new track, Perpetual Terminal. I fucking loved this one, man. That the guitar's just so thick on it. Just like that fucking tone gets me every time. And Darkest Hour's been doing this for a while and they get it, man. Did you enjoy it?
It is my song of the week. It's finally here,
Yes.
John. I have been waiting years for more Darkest Hour music. They've been teasing stuff,
Has it been
it's
years?
been years, bro.
Fuck, man. I undersold it then. Well,
I,
holy shit, Darkest Hour's back.
I'm very excited. Honestly, I'm gonna check now because it might bother me, but God, man, they know their way around a fucking riff, and yeah, the last album we got was they did a Live in Lockdown album last
That
year,
doesn't
but that
count.
doesn't count. The last album we got from them was 2017. Godless
Wow. Yeah.
Prophets.
Wow, it's been six fucking years. That's crazy.
I know. So they've been teasing that they've been in the studio on their Patreon, which I'm not subscribed to, but people have been talking about it online. That like, yeah, Darkest Hour music is incoming, and I've just been waiting and waiting, and oh my god, they delivered, and I'm just excited, man. I got the chance to see them live in 2014, and it was a crazy experience, man. It was really cool.
And are these Pegasus on the album cover? They are not unicorns. They are winged horses, but they do not have horns, right?
Right. Is it Pegasi? Is that
Is it Pegasus? So
Pegasus?
there's at least
Pegasus?
three. How many Pegasus does there need to be for it to be Pegasi? Just two?
No
Because
fucking clue. Somebody get Darkest Hour on this.
I love the art. It's really, really, really good stuff. All right, let's move on to the EPs, starting with the Scary Hours 3 Deluxe Edition of For All the Dogs by Drake, the dumbest convoluted deluxe edition title I've ever fucking heard. So I think all I learned from this is that he's afraid of Taylor Swift and horny for Rosalia. So he's every person on earth. Good. Good for you, bro. What did you get from this EP? Anything?
So I was actually pretty apprehensive based on Drake's obvious track record lately, but I have to say I think I really like a lot of
You
these
like his
songs, man.
rapping on this? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
I
honestly
should have assumed.
what it is, John, is the mix up of producers is really refreshing, and I think it works really well for him on tracks like "Stories About My Brother." The bars are actually like good. It's wild, man. When I was listening to this, and I was like, man, this is like not bad. I was like really surprised. There are like a couple of moments that don't hit, obviously, but I'm shocked that I liked it as much as I did. The Cole verses are obviously great as well.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I will honestly agree with everything you said. I do like the mix up of producers, but I will still contend that I think the production was my favorite thing of For All the Dogs. So I don't know, man. Yeah, again, this one just didn't work for me, but he is trying. He is trying to rap his ass off on this one. I can at least hear that. So if you enjoyed it, man, shout out that.
Shout out to me.
All right, we got a new one from Sabrina Carpenter. It's her turn to get into the Christmas pop realm. This is her EP Fruitcake, and I will say it's a Christmas album I can tolerate. We have not really covered her a whole lot that I think. Her album came out last year and I think has since become kind of one of the bigger albums in pop music. Her song Nonsense is the basis of A Nonsense Christmas. It's just replacing all the words in that. Okay, so
I've heard
Nonsense. Have we covered that? Okay.
I don't think that we have, but I have heard it because I heard the melody. It's a
very good song.
Yeah, I heard the melody and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, no, it's a very good song.
You just couldn't help yourself, man. You really like Christmas albums.
I knew you were going to add a Christmas album, whether I did or not. I had to offset it with some actual good Christmas music, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, man.
What did you think of this?
These are actually really good. They're a little silly, but all Christmas music is silly a little bit, right? The strings on Cindy Lou Who are great. She's got some fun lyrics on it, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a fun one. I really like the cover, too.
Yeah.
All righty. You ready to talk about the albums?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Starting with a new one from 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne called Welcome to College Grove. I don't know if it's because rap has had a quiet year, but I thought this was great. I've never been a big fan of 2 Chainz, but he's really good on this album. And it's the best Wayne has sounded in a while as well. Definitely better than the last mixtape he just dropped. They kick things off with just the phenomenal G6. They each do some of the best rapping of their careers on Oprah and Gayle, and that's saying something for Wayne, but his verse is fire on that.
Yep.
And I think they even give a fucking Usher Stan Like Me a new feature of him to fawn over on Transparency. It's still too long of an album, but I liked the concept. I liked the structure, and I think it's easily a top 10, probably even a top 5 rap album of the year. I'm going to give it a 7.5. G6 is my standout. What are your thoughts on this one?
Lil Wayne is back and ready to show why he's always been one of the GOATs. Of course, Titty Boy does a good job. I'm sorry, 2 Chainz does a great job on this album. It's got everything you want from a trap record in 2023. It's got the government mandated 21 Savage feature. It's got the fresh production with trap hi-hats, fire bars, and honestly, it's a pretty cohesive listening experience. It's honestly refreshing to get an album like this so late in the year. They don't care about the Grammys, bro. They just care about sipping lean and dropping bars over some fire beats. It's lyrical enough without being pretentious. It's hard enough without trying to be something it's not, and it is wildly silly at times. Like on Crazy Thick is hilarious, bro. Like you said, we've got an Usher feature that's really good, man. Yeah, I mean, Oprah and Gayle are good. G6 is fantastic, obviously. I liked Big Diamonds with 21. Transparency, I think, might be my favorite one, though, with that Usher feature.
So good.
It's so good. It's somewhere between an 7 and an 8 for me. Like you said, it's definitely one of the best rap albums that have dropped this year, certainly.
Yeah, it's so much fun, man. I've thrown it on every day this week going to work, and it hits every time.
Straight up, man. It's really good.
All right, man. We got a new one from Kaskade. It's Kaskade Christmas Volume 2. I didn't know that this album would be released so soon, but now that it is out, as the biggest fan of Volume 1 that I know, how did you receive this?
Look, man. There's not really much to review, bro. It's Christmas. No. I hope you liked it, man. I mean, although you indicated earlier that you might not have. It didn't quite hit the same, quite the same as the first one did for me. But I do love that there are some unconventional moments on here for Kaskade. I'm sure his LA show revolving around his Christmas albums will be fantastic. I'm glad that we got a part 2. Part 1 is always going to hold that special spot in my heart. What did you think about this one, bro?
You know, I know you wished I liked it. I do not. But instead of like shitting all over it, I'm just not gonna rate it. I think we've discussed this at length already. I'm just not a big holiday album fan, especially the more modern ones. Yeah, man, I don't know. I can't get into it. It feels it feels like novelty, but in a bad way to me. And in terms of like it being a volume two of like a concept he's already done, I don't know that it needed to be like 12 songs, but
I
I'm not
wasn't
going to bitch
expecting so
over
many. Actually,
that.
it's a lot. It's a lot of songs.
There's only like 20 Christmas songs in the
I
world, right?
know. I think a couple of these are maybe even original. Although I could be wrong. I'm not super well versed in it. So let me ask you something. What is
Yes.
your Christmas album? Do you like the oldies
Uh,
Christmas, like say a Frank Sinatra or an Elvis doing Christmas songs, or what are your Christmas albums, bro?
The Carpenters' Christmas is my favorite Christmas
There you
album, if I
go.
have to
There
pick.
you go.
Yeah, as much as I'm a big modern pop diva fan, I'm not a big fan of like I like a Mariah Carey Christmas song or an Ariana Grande Christmas song, but like in terms of an album, no man. We throw on yeah, like Dean Martin or the Carpenters maybe once or twice during the season, and that's about it. What about you? Other than Cascade, what's like? Do you like any of the older ones?
Yeah, so my wife and I went to our local record store. I want to say a couple of years ago now, and we grabbed a couple a couple Christmas albums out of the bargain bin. You know, couple dollars here for a record, and
Sure.
it was actually really cool, man. So we got the Elvis Christmas. I think it's the second Christmas album that he did. That one's okay. Frank Sinatra kills it on basically everything that he does. So I do like the Frank stuff, but I have to say my favorite one, which was I think it might have been like 50 cents or something like that, man. It was The Temptations Does Christmas. And The
Oh, great
Temptations have a rendition of Little Drummer Boy that is a banger. Like it's actually a banger. And I highly recommend you and anybody listening go listen to Little Drummer Boy by The Temptations, and I think you'll get it.
My only goal in life is for them to do an anniversary pressing of that and for our podcast to get big enough. And they put the quote on the back that's like a banger, Brandon Mack.
Oh my god.
That's it. All right, let's move on to this new one from Danny Brown called Cortana. I've always liked Danny Brown's music, but I don't think I've ever considered myself a big fan of his. I think his albums are good. I think his guest features are always a lot of fun, but he's just not one of those guys that's usually at the top of my mind when I want to listen to rap. He's a throwback to the days of more bombastic rap acts like Cypress Hill and Too Short. It's very unapologetic, it's over the top, oftentimes hilarious bars filled to the brim with personality. It's not an album you can push to the back of your head. It's too ridiculous for that. But for as ridiculous as it is, I think he really puts it all together well, man. The sequencing on this one is good. The structure's good. It flows well. It never drags. It gets a thumbs up for me. I'm going to give it a 7. My standout is Tantor because of the bar. I got a Mexican homie named Chinese Mike, followed by the sample of Michael Scott yelling when he found out
Yep.
Toby was back. It's just hilarious. It's everything I love about his music rolled up into one song. I love it, man. I enjoyed the record. What about you?
All right.
Hit me. Hit me.
Danny Brown is a great lyricist. I know I'm in the minority of weird music lovers on this because I love weird music. I just cannot stand this fucking guy's voice.
Which has always been the case for you.
Yes, it is just so odd that he would like choose this vocal style, man. It's honestly crazy because the moments
It's not him choosing. That's his voice.
that's not true, bro. Because he's using like his standard voice on a number of these tracks, and those are the moments on this album that I fucking love. So here are a couple of things I love about this. The production throughout is fantastic. It is fresh, just like everything that he does. It's clearly being produced with love, and I really appreciate all like the real drum sounds they're using to create like organic sounding beats. The samples on Tantor, like you said, are hilarious, and they come at the back of a really silly song. You know, I love like personal lyrics when rappers can get vulnerable. I think that's a really interesting trait. And when he's not being silly, he's actually rapping about some real stuff. Like I said earlier, he is a great lyricist, and his vocals just take so much away from my ability to enjoy it as much as other people probably do. If he did an entire project with his regular voice, I'd probably really love it, because every moment on this album where he's not doing his thing is extremely enjoyable for me. I will say though that I did like this album more than I didn't like it. I'm going to give it a 6. My standout is Down With It.
That is more than fair. I knew you weren't going to love it. I knew his voice on this wasn't going to win you over all of a sudden. I'm going to push back on that a little bit, though, man. I think you're hearing him affect his voice when you think it's his natural voice. I think when he raps, that's just the way it sounds. Like, I think it's very much the same thing for Be Real and Cypress Hill. You
Maybe.
think Smino is like, I'm gonna rap like this because I want to. Like, no, that's the style that he raps. That's just what comes out.
Fair.
But you could be wrong. I'm not an expert in this.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm not either.
We got a new Gallant album, so I am very fucking excited to talk about it. But it is Terrace Martin technically and Gallant. They're calling this group Sneak. The album is also called Sneak. And you know what? I am excited to talk about it. I'm sure you're excited to hear my thoughts on it, since Gallant is one of, if not my overall favorite artist. But I really don't have that much to say about it, because I feel like it's kind of as expected, as I hoped and as I assumed. This is just one of the most beautiful albums to come out this year. And while it's not nearly as flashy as other R&B albums we've reviewed, it finds its power in a way that's able to like quietly create at such a high level. And I love how it isn't as straightforward as I thought it was going to be. Tracks like 311, Bend, and Common Ground are all pretty much what we were expecting from the album. But tracks like Devil's Advocate and Tandem just surpassed my expectations and left me floored. And to top it all off, they bookend the album with 2 of the most beautiful pieces of music on it. The fact that I can throw on a track like Venus de Milo out of context and still enjoy it just shows how beautiful it is, man. I'm going to give this one an 8 in terms of a standout. Fuck. Like 311 is great. His hook on Tandem is beautiful. The way him and the sax are going back and forth on Devil's Advocate is great. I don't think there's a bad pick on this. My only weird note on the album is when it dropped, the track Oslo had like a weird techno beat and kind of like a garage beat at the beginning and the end that they seem to have amended since its release. I kind of liked it on there. It was fucking weird, but I thought it worked despite being so jarring. Not sure what the story with that one is, but that aside, I did really enjoy the album. What about you?
I'm really glad you enjoyed it so much. Look, bro, this album is beautiful. Gallant and Terrence sound insanely good here, and everything comes together with the production. I think Terrence did a lot of the production here. The melodies, the jazz infusions, the lyricism, it really all came together on this one, bro. The sax, the drums, the piano are all incredible. I'm a huge fan of this one, bro. I don't have much else to say other than the fact that I enjoyed it a whole lot. I'm going to give it an 8. My standout is either 311 or Tandem.
Yeah, the Tandem is just so breezy, so light, so fun. It's a great track.
Yep, I agree.
I think it's going to be, I don't know if this is an album of singles, but I think that that's kind of the next obvious one to push.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to talk about the one everybody's been waiting for. It's the new André 3000 album, New Blue Sun. Been dying for your thoughts on this one, man, so please hit me.
Alrighty. Spoiler alert, I didn't give this one a score. But I have to say, André could have dropped a rap album and made a few milli and disappeared again, but he didn't. He probably doesn't need the money since Outkast was wildly successful. But he could have padded his bank account and then disappeared. But instead, we got some of the artistry that he's obviously been working on perfecting for a long time. I respect the shit out of that, man. I really do. I like ambient music, and I like this a lot. I'm a little bummed that I didn't get to hear André like shred on the flute. I really kind of wanted to hear a moment where it like builds up to him just fucking going ham, but we didn't really get that. But there are a lot of really interesting, challenging, and clearly like talented moments on this album. I don't want to give it a score. I don't think it needs it. I really enjoyed my time with it. I won't come back to it often, but it is really good for what it is. And again, I respect the shit out of him releasing something that is so jarringly different that I don't even think it's getting many streams, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Couple of the tracks have over 1 million, but you would expect Andre 3000 to have a little bit more than that. But it is what it is. I enjoyed it for what it is, which is a flute-led ambient album, and I like those things. So, what did you think about this one, man?
I too did not score it. So, like, do I like this? Yes. Do I have any idea how to really talk about it or score it? Absolutely not. Much like the orchestral album released from one of the Daft Punk members earlier this year, it's beautiful, it's insanely impressive, but it's also an hour and a half of fucking wind instruments. And like, as happy as I am to have an Andre 3000 album in the world, I am a little bummed that it is not a rap album. I'm aware that he's been addressing this, and he addresses it in the first song title as well as interviews he's done recently, but awareness of the situation doesn't exactly absolve me of the feeling of slight disappointment. If I ran into him on the street and he's playing his flute, doing his thing, I'd probably think it was the best thing that ever happened to me. But I'm not going to act like this is the best thing in the world just because Andre 3000 released it. No. I think it's good. I think it's even great at times, but it's not something I'm going to be coming back to after this week. However, I do think it's going to have a life after this release. I think it's only a matter of time before every producer starts sampling pieces of it, chopping it, flipping it, speeding it up, reinterpreting it into more modern dance, rap, pop music, whatever it ends up being used for. And I'm excited to see how this album will end up inspiring others. I'm more excited to see that than I am for the actual album itself, but we should know anything we get from Andre at this point is not going to be very straightforward. And I'm not even going to complain about it not being a rap album anymore, because he at least gave us one rap verse this year, which is more than he usually does. Again, I did not score this. I don't really have a standout, but I would give it a thumbs up if I was asked. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
No, I think that's super valid, man. It's like you said, man. I hope it inspires people, and honestly, I hope it inspires more rappers, not necessarily like retired rappers, but rappers to go out and explore other sonic landscapes. You know, like with Kevin Abstract doing this indie stuff, with Lil Uzi Vert putting out a psychedelic rock album. I really like that we're seeing rappers kind of do things that might not be comfortable to them, you know? And although Andre sounds incredibly comfortable in his flute here, I could see how they could do I could see how they could flip some of these flutes and make them into like a melodic rap beat. I think that would be great. I think Pitchfork like categorized it as a rap album, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, and that's been getting some laughs online.
Yeah, man, it is what it is, and it is good. But again, if somebody put a gun to my head and said put an ambient album on, it would not be this one.
Do you want to see like Jay-Z do a didgeridoo album, or like Killer Mike do a stand-up bass type of project or something after this?
I want to see Lloyd Banks play the fiddle. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds incredible. Please, God, let that happen. An interesting note that Andre dropped in one of his interviews this week is that he has played wind instruments on people's projects that have been released so far, but didn't really say anything. And Metro Boomin at one of his like shows the other night said that he plays the flute on Mask Off by Future, which is a very big song. So,
yeah, that's a huge song.
Like I'm saying, this will be sampled and used in ways that I don't think we're hearing it as yet. I'm excited to see how that'll come together. But that's really cool, man. I love that he's like, nah, don't even put my name on this.
Yeah, and honestly, I love that both Future and Metro respected that.
He's the fucking Duke Silver of rap, right?
Right.
Or of wind instruments. All right, we got one more album to talk about this week. It's a new one from State Drugs called Parade of Red Flags. Talk to me about it.
One of like the only straightforward albums. One of the
Yeah,
like two
seriously.
straightforward albums this week. I just wanted to add a late add to the pop punk slash emo slash alternative releases for the year.
Yep.
I actually got the vinyl delivered not the most recent weekend, but the weekend prior. So I've actually had like a lot of time with it, more than most. It's a great album, man. It's got that '90s worship vibe that I've been really digging lately, with like a touch of pop punk that I think works really well. I think the dude's monotone vocals are really good. I've enjoyed my half dozen spins with it so far. I really like this one. It's high six, low seven for me. Let's Never Quit is my favorite off of it, and I just love the album title Parade of Red Flags.
Yeah, great album title. Love the art. It's a really good album, man. I think it shines in the fundamentals. Like on its surface, it's a pretty straightforward. I think you phrased it well. '90s worship album. There's a little like indie punk alternative sensibilities to it. It's almost immediately approachable, and I think the melodies are simple enough to learn after a listen or two. But there's enough depth on here to keep coming back to it for more. The whole album flows together really well, and at only 33 minutes, it's easy to hit play on again. I'm in the exact same range for a score as you are, like around a low seven. My standout on this one is Yep, though. I love that
It's a good
track.
track. It's a good track.
Yeah, it's a really good album, man. I think that's rad. You got this one on vinyl too.
Yeah, they're a pretty small band at only 140 monthly listeners. So when bands like that put out records, they're normally A, not 45 fucking dollars like everybody else's vinyl is, and B, it's really easy to support these artists. And if you can
Agreed.
support them and you like their music, you should.
I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
That's it, my man. Actually, yeah, next week we're doing our first couple of album of the year podcasts, where we're
Yep.
going to be talking about both pop in one of our episodes, and then electronic dance music in the next one.
Two of our favorite topics to talk about, man. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. You can check us out on Reddit and Instagram for more information. Just search Brandon's Face Pod. Don't forget to follow the playlist that this podcast is based on if you have not already. You can find the link to that in the show notes. We'll see y'all next week. Have a happy holiday. Peace.
Peace.